So apparently UN is relocating many of its staffs from New York to Nairobi, Kenya. And it had people questioning why exactly they're doing this. Let's look at this from the Kenyan point of view. Kenyans were asking, why do you need to relocate? This is, by the way, it's reported that this is a mass relocation. Let me read for you what Pulse Live Kenya reported. They wrote, this strategic move aiming to place the agency closer to the communities it serves has sparked concerns among many of the affected employees. About a quarter of the staff in the New York office will be affected. A quarter of the staff that is based in New York is going to be relocating to Nairobi. People were questioning, let's not even get into what exactly they're doing here, what exactly they want to be, because according to their reports, they want to be closer to the people they want to serve, right? So we'll get into that in a little bit, but I want to talk about how much this is going to impact the Kenyans on the ground. Kenyans that are looking for a job, Kenyans that are going to be affected because of this. When it comes to gentrification, as you know, whenever expats or foreigners are sent to countries like African countries, they are going to put them in areas or place them in areas where they think are the safest, or they think they're going to be easier. They're going to have access to more things, right? So this has caused a lot of gentrification in a lot of cities, and that's a problem not just with UN staff, but many international organizations, multinational organizations. Whenever they come to a country, they make things more expensive for the locals, and the locals don't appreciate that for obvious reasons. If they were buying bread for $1, now it's going to be $3, because guess what? The expat or the staff member from New York that was relocated to Nairobi is going to afford more, is going to have US dollar, so he is going to use that, and people are going to increase the price, and the rent is going to go up, and the cafes, restaurants price are going to go up, and that has been a problem for African countries, and specifically cities, main cities like Nairobi. I have also followed up on the Cape Town situation. There's lots and lots of Americans, digital nomads, that are moving to Cape Town, South Africa, and they are actually making it hard for the locals to buy a house, to rent a house, to be able to afford that area, because guess what? They have US dollars, and the US dollar is much more powerful than many currencies in the continent of Africa. So I've seen some people complain about that as well. So when it comes to the UN story, they said that this is a mass relocation. This is not just 1 or 2 employees or even 10, 20 employees. This is, according to the report, a quarter of the staff that is in New York is supposed to move to Nairobi. This is huge. This is a lot. Now let's get to the second point, and the most important, I would say. This point is the most worrying and sinister one, because why are they all of a sudden interested in having more of their staff members closer to East Africa and the neighboring countries? As you know, there has been a lot that has been happening in the Horn of Africa, East Africa. Countries are going at each other's throat. Countries are fighting. Presidents are accusing each other left and right. There's threats going around. There's so much that is going around. And 3 weeks ago, we reported on the CIA director coming to visit Kenya and Somalia and had a talk with the leaders. So when everything is being said and done, now the UN wanting to be more involved in East Africa, and specifically wanting to have a space in Nairobi, and according to them, to be closer to the people that they're serving, it's a red flag. And I understand why people are skeptical about this move, especially those that have seen or read up on what has been happening and how the UN has been used to basically destabilize countries in the name of helping them. We've seen how the troops are being kicked out of African countries left and right because the people themselves are accusing these troops of making things worse in their countries, and they want them out. In this day and age, when we're fighting to kick out foreign troops, foreign agencies, NGOs, these organizations that are promising us the world, but in fact, in reality, what we are seeing is our situation getting worse. I don't like the idea that there's a mass relocation to Africa by UN staff members. It's just unsettling. We don't like it. We don't like the fact that this is the time that they chose to relocate most of their staff members. And as you know, whenever you tell a story, it depends on which version or who is telling the story. And the report that I read up on this was from the staff members. And they were saying that, where are we moving? Where are we relocating? And they were complaining. And let me tell you something, we don't want you to be here. So maybe there's a way we can both get our ways. You can stay in your country and we can have our own here without any interference or aid from UN. Anyways, fam, let us know down below what your thoughts are about this mass relocation from New York office to Nairobi. I am Munguel Zalalam. I'll see you on the next one.